Hey HA Youth! Tonight I would love to share with you about the story of Ruth, a Moab woman who made massive sacrifices, demonstrated incredible loyalty, compassion, and kindness throughout her own battles and hardships. This book in the Bible is one of my absolute favourites, as Ruth is the perfect example of the type of person I would love to be, and her story also really shows how God is not shy of blessing his people. For me, it's almost like a biblical Disney movie, even with its own happily ever after. Now, the book of Ruth starts by introducing Naomi and her two daughter-in-laws, Ruth and Orpah. Sadly, all three of these women became widows, causing Naomi to decide to return back to Bethlehem. As a true kindness, Naomi urged the young women to stay in Moab, where their biological family, traditions, and gods were. Both women were determined to follow Naomi to Bethlehem, but Orpah quickly changed her mind and decided to stay in Moab. In Ruth chapter 1 verse 16 it says, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." This verse in particular is so beautiful as it truly demonstrates loyalty and courage. Ruth was willing to leave everything she had ever known, her own safety blanket, due to her love for her mother-in-law and wanting to support her in her loss of her sons and husband. Ruth selflessly took her eyes off herself and off her own pain and directed them towards someone in need. When Naomi and Ruth arrived in Bethlehem, Naomi was clearly under severe distress and heartache, telling her old friends to call her Mara, which means bitter. Whilst Naomi was going through this hard season, Ruth stepped up in a land unknown to her and to people that were not her own. To be able to support both herself and her mother-in-law, Ruth started working at a field as a gleaner, not knowing that the owner of this field was Boaz, one of Naomi's relatives. This is where it really gets good. Quickly, Boaz took notice of Ruth, encouraging and praising her for the kindness that she showed his relative. "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. Now you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with a people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." Now this blessing and prayer that Boaz spoke over Ruth was answered in 100-fold. Unknowingly to Boaz at the time, that blessing over Ruth's life had him right in the middle of it. On Naomi's advice, Ruth pursues Boaz, presenting herself to him in marriage, where Boaz eagerly accepts the proposal. Boaz had to endure both social and legal battles as a means of marrying Ruth, the Moabite woman. The blessing of their marriage was not only an answer of a hopeful prayer by Naomi and Ruth, but that blessing also outpoured into a multitude of other areas. This included financial security for Naomi as her late husband's property was claimed by a kind and loving man, and Ruth and Boaz gave birth to King David's father, meaning that Ruth, a foreigner from a pagan land, her child was part of Jesus' genealogical line. God recognized Ruth's sacrifices, not just once, but the multitude of sacrifices that she had made. She was a truly selfless and kind woman, and God blessed that abundantly. Now, HA, I want to encourage you in how you see sacrifice. Don't allow yourself to choose comfort over kindness. God isn't the type to take something from you without blessing you abundantly. He wants us to live a full life, and he knows our heart and truest desires.